Okay, so I'm just, going about my business, my morning here, and I've had a sudden epiphany, and I figured it out. I figured out how to say it is more what it is, because you have one of those feelings where it's so many feelings combined that you don't know how to put it into words, um, or it's like uh, it's like a train of thought that you have thought many times, but like when somebody asks you what you're thinking about, all of a sudden your mind goes blank. It's a type of thing like that, okay? But I figured it out as to why I don't let people in my life. I just simply don't, and not anymore. And if I do let you into my life, it's not that you're privileged or anything. It's just that I was able to get to know you long enough to let you in. Or I've been around you enough to where I feel comfortable. Things like that. But the reason, I think my biggest reason for not letting people into my life or just kind of being nonchalant about the relationships I do have is because now this is going to be like I said, this is a complicated thought, so I'm gonna have to um you know really say it for you guys what I truly and actually mean. So, as somebody who suffers with mental illness, I know that it is harder. In some senses, it can be harder for the person dealing with somebody with a mental illness than it is for the person suffering. Now, big preface there, because mental illness can bring about a lot of unspeakable suffering to a person. As someone who has both watched people suffer and as someone who has suffered my entire life from these debilitating illnesses that you can't see, that are just invisible and you can't put words on, no word feels justifiable, no word can ever carry as much weight as a mental illness actually bears on somebody. So, hold on. Now, unfortunately, I suffer with the type of mental illness that literally makes me act like a different person. And I can't control it. I can't control. There's aspects about myself that I can't control, right? And so the aspects of myself that I can control, I excessively control to a degree of almost a prison warden. Sorry, I had to compose myself there. But yes, so like I was saying, my mental illness that I struggle with, it does cause me to act like a completely different person. And so there's things about myself that I have zero control over. I'm aware that it happens only because I have studied my own mental illness. I have studied the classifications, the qualifications, the things that you have to experience to be classified as having borderline personality disorder. They are very severe. And so living with somebody who suffers from something so severe and so out of their control. Mark realized that the other night when he realized how little in control I was of the things that were happening, that I was experiencing. So imagine waking up one day and you are a completely different person in your head. Like, you exhibit different tendencies. It's really, it's a lot to try to explain to you in this video. But so the other night, Mark and I were here at the house and watching TV, and he goes to leave at night, and he does every single night. Well, the other night, I just happened to, something happened and I wasn't there per se, and I thought it was a dream, because the way I was behaving and the things that I was saying, I thought I was dreaming. Like, I literally, so imagine someone tells you the next morning that you incessantly yelled at them to go take you to the store to get you canned food, right? Because this is what I did. This is what I did. Literally, he told me this the next day. Yesterday morning, he said, "Do you know what you did last night?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Well, we fell asleep on the couch, didn't we?" I said, "That's the last thing I remember." And he had told me that I woke up, got my shoes on as he was leaving, and went down to his car, got into his car, closed the door, and kept telling him that I needed to go to the store to get canned food. And he kept trying to clarify with me, "Jennifer, like, do you know what you're doing? Like, do you hear what you're saying?" And I kept saying in that moment, "Yes, I know exactly what I'm doing. I need to go get canned food." And I was like incessantly screaming about this canned food. And he kept trying to tell me to get back out of the car and go back in the house and go to sleep. And I was like, I don't understand why. Like, in that moment, he was telling me that I was trying to reason with him, and like was getting like really angry that he wouldn't take me to the store to get canned food. And I looked at him like he was insane when he told me that. I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, that did not happen." But I kind of, as those words were escaping my mouth, I knew that it did, because I thought when I woke up that morning, yesterday morning when I woke up, I thought I had dreamt that. Like, I literally thought I had dreamt that. And, but I didn't, apparently. And so he's kind of glimpsed how, like, not in control I was of the situation. And so I know how hard it is I can only imagine. I don't know how hard it is. I can only imagine, okay, so I can only imagine, like, dealing with somebody like me. I don't think I could, which is why it's almost like I built the wall. It's like I've caged something in rather than kept something out. You understand? That's almost like the feeling I get. It's like, yeah, there's a fence around it, but the barbed wire is facing inside, not outside. I'm not trying to keep anything out. I'm trying to keep what's in there in, you know? So it's more of trying to protect the people around me from ever seeing what they will see if they ever get closer to me. And I don't know if that's a thing that other people do, because I've never heard anybody talk about it. But I think that's why I keep people out of my life. I don't like to let people get close to my life, which is why it's easy for me to up and leave a situation. I would rather go through that pain once and only once, because I know for a fact that if I get close to people, things will happen that are not in my control, that they may not understand, and that they're not under no there's nothing, like, I'm not forcing anyone to like understand my mental illness, because you know what, it took me years to understand it myself. And so I don't ever tell the people in my life, and at this point there is only one person in my life that I talk to every day, that I am around every day. So, and you know, unfortunately he gets the brunt end of my mental illness, and I always do my best to apologize. But at this point, it just feels like it'd be easier to let go of a relationship and be alone and just be a spinster. Like, because I don't have to worry about, like if something happens out of my control, the only one who's going to end up with consequences is me, myself, and I. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being alone all the time, and then if an episode happens to where I end up out of the house, I'll be okay with the holding that responsibility for the consequence. But like, I don't want to drag anybody else into it. So it's like I'm stopping the hurt before it ever even happens, which is a toxic way of thinking. I do realize this. And so if any of you guys know any healthier coping mechanisms to when you feel this sense of, instead of blocking people out, what do y'all do? Like, do you do anything different? Like, I just want to open up a conversation about this and just know where y'all's heads are at and what you guys think and how you guys feel. You know, is it easy for you guys to make friends? Is it easy for you to have relationships? Is it easy for you to, express the stuff to other people? Do you have other people to express it to? Just anything. If you have a healthier coping mechanism to isolation that doesn't involve immediately throwing myself into a group of friends that I don't have, please let me know. So, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.